Today we are making chocolate courgette muffins. Now, when we talk about hiding vegetables for kids, which is not something that I would be a fan of, I'm talking about hiding vegetables for kids all the time so that they never see a vegetable on their plate. That is not a good road to go down, because then how are they ever going to eat veg if they've never seen one? If they're never presented with a vegetable, they're never going to eat it. So that's different to what we're doing today, which we're incorporating the courgette into the muffins. But you know, for dinner, I will give my kids veg as normal. So it'd be different if you were doing this all the time, hiding veg in for the kids all the time. But we're not. Well, I'm not anyway. So what do we have? I have a couple of different flours here. I have a self-raising wholemeal flour, so I'm going to use that. I try to steer away from white flour when I can. Obviously, I also have I do have a bit of self-raising white flour there, so I might mix it. I might do half and half. Obviously the wholemeal flour will make it a bit more dense, I suppose. So, courgette muffins. So obviously, one courgette, medium courgette, banana, egg. We've got our flour, as I was talking about. I'm going to use kind of half and half, half wholemeal, half white. I've got some raw cacao powder. So hello there. That's the chocolate part. We've got some rapeseed oil. I'm using date syrup. I was talking about this before. Date syrup has a very low GI number, so it means that the sugar is released very slowly into the system. So it's a good source of sugar if you have to use sugar. Bit of banya, bit of bicarbonate of soda, and yeah, I think that's it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to grate the courgette, and courgette has got a lot of water in it, so we're going to grate it, and then we are going to squeeze the excess water out of it, because that'll make the muffins flop a bit. So we're just going to grate it. So obviously this is a great thing that you can do with the kids, get them to do this. I'm leaving the skin on it. I'd never take the skin off something like this, because it's got all the fibre and everything in the bottom of it. So this courgette is nearly grated, and then we're going to squeeze the water out of it. So you have to do this with vegetables sometimes when you're using them, especially in baking, because you don't want all that excess moisture in your bowls. So if the kids are doing it, obviously when it gets down to the very end of the courgette, just be careful that they don't nick their fingers. So I'm just going to put this into a tea towel, and we're going to squeeze the moisture out of it. So you do this with cauliflower if you're using, see, I can already see it on the grater, see it's all moist there. So I want to get all that extra moisture out. If you're using cauliflower or anything like that in like a cauliflower pizza or anything, you'd always squeeze the moisture out of it as well. So here we go. See that? Cool. So there's all the courgette juice. Oh, yeah, I spilled it now. Okay, so I'm going to put that into a bowl. Ta-da. And to that, we are going to add one banana, and one banana, and we're going to mix it then, and our egg. Let me see, let me check my recipe. So I'm going to mix this all up together. I'm going to add so we're going to add all kind of the wet ingredients together. I'm going to put in my date syrup, so we need about 100 ml of that. So again, I'm going to use my measuring spoon. I love these measuring spoons. They're great for kids when they're cooking. It makes it so much easier for them to measure and weigh and stuff. The egg and the vegetable oil. I wasn't supposed to put in the courgette until afterwards. Anyway, doesn't matter, it all goes in the same place. Vegetable oil, 50 ml of vegetable oil. Don't worry about the recipe, I'll put it up later. Promise. I'm going to add the milk. 60 ml of milk. So that's just about a quarter of a cup. There we go. So I'm going to mix all that together with Maggie's little mixer that she got at Christmas. So this is a great little mixer, little Kenwood one. Really handy for if you've got kids. Sorry, that's my electricity cable. Really handy for kids because it's a nice small light one. It's a little Kenwood, it's the Mary Berry one. So I'm just going to give that a little mix. Hope it doesn't go all over the place. There we go. You could do this in a stand mixer. I have a big stand mixer as well, but I just wasn't bothered to take it out. So I'm going to unplug that. This is my magic little plug. There we go. Okay. So that's our wet ingredients all ready to go, and then I'm going to do the dry ingredients. So we need about 1 1/4 cups of flour that we're going to sift. So I'm going to use my self-raising wholemeal flour. I don't know why they haven't come up with a better way for flour to buy flour. Somebody was talking about that recently because we've been buying flour in paper bags since time immemorial. And if your bag bursts, you're in big trouble. So there's one, and then I'll use the rest with white flour, so about a 1/4 cup. Just going to sift that, and the teaspoon of baking powder. Oh no, yeah. So I need a teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Teaspoon of baking powder. How does this open now? Ta-da-da. I haven't done this. It's almost a week since I did one of these, so I'm very rusty. Oh, there we go. That's just the bicarbonate of soda. You don't want to mix the two of these up. A half teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda and a teaspoon of baking powder. These are really hard to get out. Oh, there we go. I was just opening them the wrong way. A teaspoon of baking powder. There we go. I'm working. And our cocoa powder. So I'm using the cacao powder. You can use cocoa powder. Again, that has more sugar in it. 1/3 cup. So we're going to go with. God, my eyesight's getting so bad. 1/3 cup here. Here we go. We're going to sift that all together. And that's it done. Done. More or less. We're going to add the dry ingredients, the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. I think that's the way it works anyway. So this is my wholemeal flour, and I just have all the bran at the bottom because that's the difference between wholemeal flour and white flour, is they leave the bran in it. So I'm just going to tip that in like that. Okay. And then I am going to put all my wet ingredients in here and give it all a big mix. I think it'll be fine, even though I know Maggie probably does it a different way to me. There we go. So we're going to pop these in the cases, which are so expertly prepared in advance. Tastes good? So here we go. I've seen lots of people do this with an ice cream scoop.
I do it.
You do it with an ice cream scoop, do you? But I don't know. This reminds me of my mother. Hi, Mother, if you're watching. making her queen cakes at home. Okay, Maggie, can you leave some, please, so to go in the oven? So I like doing it like this. I think these are going to be really fluffy.
It's so nice with the courgette.
Yeah, and you've got your bit of courgette in there, and I think these are going to be delicious. I didn't make any beforehand, so I've none to taste to show you, but I will obviously put it up later on when they're out of the oven. Now you could throw chocolate chips into this, you could throw coconut into this, you could throw loads of different things in. That makes a good 12. Like these are big, decent muffin cases. So it's made a good 12 of those, and into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. And there you go. Courgette muffins. Who knew? Who knew? Voila. Thanks so much for watching.